It's the first time I have a camera where I can actually see myself while I'm filming. Me. It's amazing. Hey there guys, well for those of you who aren't familiar with my videos, my channel, my name is Elton McFall. I live here in Montreal, born and raised all my life, and I'm a classic car fanatic. Not only classic cars, but trucks, buses, trains, pretty much whatever's vintage. Or old especially. Yeah, I'm into some of the new stuff, but me, no, it's not really where my heart is the most. Anyway, so guys, I started my latest project today. Let's take a look at it now. I know I need a shave. How do I switch the camera from with the... So now we are on the project I was just talking about. I just started today. I've been working about this for, I don't know, an hour and a half, maybe more. There's Gloria. Been playing with Gloria. Hi, Gloria. Oh, Gloria. She loves the camera. Eh? Who's a good kitty? Who's a good Gloria with a big tail? I don't know. Can somebody tell me? I keep cleaning her ears and she's still shaking her head. I'm telling you, always problems. Always problems. Just to show you some of the stuff I got on my walls here in my office. This is where I keep most of my, framed ads that I framed and original drawings and stuff. Just to give you a little overview if you don't know who I am, Like I always sing that classic song, if you don't know me by now, you will never, never. Anyway, originally done by Harry Melvin and the Blue Notes, and of course covered by Simply Red in the 80s. The 80s, the time I was a kid. Great time. And there were things like this that happened. Yeah, if you're from Montreal like me, you know all about this. So I'll expect one of you guys, at least one of you guys, to comment about that and tell me where you were at that day. Me, I was a little shit. I was in day camp with my brother in Roxborough in the burbs, and I was 12 years old. Anyway, the latest project. I'm excited. There's nothing like working on something and creating something out of nothing. I went yesterday to the store to buy this not cheap fine art type paper. Very nice quality, 24 pages. It's kind of a cream off white, whatever. And then I'm like, man, I had this light, this portable light over there on the corner there, where that picture of me and my brother and my mom is, with the Dodge Monaco police car, which was actually a Batman movie car, which I have to reglue that front bumper. And I moved the light closer, and it's pretty good, actually. That gives a good lighting, because you got to have a lot of lighting when you're doing this. You're spending hours drawing and coloring things in small details. You want things to be accurate. Also, you don't want to get a fucking headache like I could easily get being visually impaired. I don't drive legally, if you don't know. One of you guys had asked, why can't you drive? Well, I wrote, the visual impairment, specifically, unfortunately, they cannot repair, is an astigmatism. You don't know what astigmatism? Google it. That's what it's there for. Just looking at something I should be able to sell more easily. This is a vintage 1967 French European ad. This is not a beer that was sold here in Montreal, as far as I know. And I just put in the frame recently. It's an original. I don't sell any duplicates. And it's $15. And so for you beer fans, because there's so many of you. I mean, I like beer, but I'm not a fanatic of it. I'm not a passion of it like this, Here's my GM New Look bus, as I mentioned before. If I don't ever get my price, I don't care if I don't sell it, because ever since I made it, I love this painting. It's one of my coolest works ever, and everybody has always had something to say positive about these buses. You didn't have to be a fan. Whatever, I've heard them all. But, the Nova buses today, their buses are like life itself, kind of shit and fucked up, and nobody fucking says, oh, the LFS is this, the LFS is great, da-da-da-da. No, because they turn to scrap, okay? Anyway. Now, onto older buses. Now, these buses, on the other hand, I've had people say, hey, you remember the old brown buses? They didn't know who the maker was, before, because there was the Brill, as these were called, made by Canadian Car in Lasalle, who also manufactured heavy semi-trucks and aircraft and streetcars and blah, blah, blah. Huge ass fucking building. And, but the brown buses also, before they became in a blue livery in 1973, the GM New Looks were also like this, were also brown and white. And of course also we had Max, but of course I was born in 1975, so I missed all this era. Which is one of the reasons why I'm drawing this, because I remember the only one I ever saw on the road, I think it was probably about, I don't know, 80, 81, 82. And I was with my grandparents because they lived here in the East End at the Olympic Village on Sherbrooke. And I remember we were in the East End, I don't know where, and I saw one go by. I just have this very faint memory of it, especially the back. And then, of course, a few years back, I did some research and found out that that these ones that were still remaining when they were retired, it was in 1982. They did freaking 30 years of service, man. 30 years! Camera stopped recording. I may have to go get the regular camera to do this. Anyway, so, 30 years of service. Nowadays, on average, a bus does about 15, maybe 20 years. Maybe. So, again, sign of the times, things are not built to last as long as they can, or the transit companies don't want to be fucking bothered to rebuild buses. God forbid, it's our money, the taxpayer. But that's like so many things today. I don't want to go on a tangent, but we are become more than ever a disposable society. I don't want to sound like some hippie, but it's true. And the fact that we used to rebuild our city buses, every one of them that could be saved and rebuilt, and the other ones that were finished or used for parts, that's what I'm talking about. That's a form of recycling. Renew, restore, recycle. Renew, restore, recycle. Remember that. This is the most fucking important things you could learn today, especially younger people. You're the future, okay? All right. So, well, I think this is a first where I record part of a video with my phone, my Motorola, and now I'm just starting to record this one with my new Nikon B500. How about that shit? I lost my train of thought now. Crap. Gloria, where was I? Oh, Jesus. Anyway, so I didn't want to make this too long of a video because I've got somebody coming over soon to buy some ads from me and stuff, so I got to go find these things. And anyway, this is going really well. This picture here you keep seeing, you're probably wondering about. I took this picture. It's funny because when I searched Montreal Brill on Google, I found there's not many pictures of them that are online. There's not a ton of them. And this one here, the reason why I searched, let me explain. This picture I took in 2004 in Granby, okay? This is the only Brill I've ever seen. It was restored. Excuse me, I have to swear. It was fucking painstakingly restored to original. I mean, especially when I came inside of it, I couldn't believe it. That night I came home with my friend in a major downpour all the way back to Montreal in a 53 Ford with a leaking vacuum windshield wipers, vacuum operated. And so anyway, the reason why I was also searching for these pictures of these, like with the last ones in service, whatever, late 70s, early 80s, when they were retired or whatnot, was for accuracy. As for example, if you look at, there's a few things here a little bit different. First of all, this one was really nicely restored. I mean, this was like a no expense spared restoration because look at all these, the trim pieces were chromed. This was chromed. They might have been like that new. They restored this back like it was new in 1952. This is a 52 example. This exact bus was in service in the southwest boroughs of Montreal. And I'll get more on that in a minute. And so all the ones that were retired did not have a chrome bumper and chrome moldings. The only chrome on there was the wipers and the headlight bezels and stuff like that. Mirror was aluminum. Anyway, this is going really well. And and I just added this side marker light, because this one doesn't have it, you see. And in the picture I found from 79 of a retired one, I think it was retired, maybe not. Now here's another thing that's interesting about these buses. They seem to sometimes be in at least two different shades of brown. I made a mistake. I bought the wrong color. This is like a vomit color, okay? And I start coloring right away. I'm like, shit, I bought the wrong color. I was sure about the right color because I thought I had seen a couple of pictures of these Brills with this kind of a color, but no, actually it's more of a chestnut brown, I guess. And even this color, well, this was taken with a Kodak picture at like twilight almost, so maybe it's not the most accurate. All right, so to finish off here, now I had this idea for a while to make a video of, I'm so used to saying that, make a video. Let's make a video. It's therapeutic. And I thought to myself, how cool would it be to do a drawing of a Brill, the one like in its last year or whatever service, something like that, and to do it something completely different in design, but the incredibly dynamic looking Lasalle metro station. in the Verdun borough. This is, in terms of exterior design of stations, this is my favorite, obviously. And as I just mentioned before, this bus, in its last year of service, in 1982, served the southwest boroughs of Verdun, Lasalle probably, Saint-Henri, Villemard, and I don't know, maybe NDG, maybe not. Point St. Charles. So you can imagine. So this is basically, see, I just scaled. This is exactly the way I wanted it to be in terms of this size, because I want to really catch the structure here. Now, if you look at this LFS, this is a photo, by the way, I had blown up recently, so I could have it here in the office with me because my computer is in my living room. And now this pillar here, this triangle here is supposed to be orange. I know, because I took a picture of something on this station back years ago. And but you see where the Nova bus is. See, mine, I want to do like, what I'm doing is like, it's leaving, basically. It's leaving. I think there's going to be the 58 Wellington route on the sign. And so I'm thinking I would put, yeah, it's going to be like this, but really like the whole structure really well framed, you know? So I'm really happy this is going terrifically well. It's very good. I'm very happy. And as soon as I do much more work on that, you guys will see the result. All right, guys, and don't be afraid to get out there. Do something. Get outside. Do something creative. Build something. Make something. Draw something. Paint something. Whatever. As long as it's legal, you're not hurting yourself or anybody, do it. All right, guys, take it easy.